Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jordan, the deer hunter. Do we have anyone else in the chat? It's early morning. I'm not losing my voice. At least I don't think so. Give people a few minutes. Well, in theory, nobody really knew that I was going live this morning. But I need the watch time. I need some watch hours. I know I'm monetized, but I still want to stay higher than 200 hours every 30 days. It's winter. I don't have time to make videos as much as I would have in the summer. Hello, Dave. And there's not as much things that I can show in the winter compared to the summer. I mean, summer, I can make a video while I plant my potatoes. I can make a video while I plant my carrots. I can make another one for my cucumbers, for my strawberries, for every single plant, every single seed I put in the soil. I can also make a video on every single thing that I'm going to forage. If I go fishing, if I go bear hunting, and so on. But in the winter, there really isn't much I can do. I'm currently working on a video regarding Survival Seeds Collaboration 2024. And let's see if I can show you the people involved. Vineyard Chicks, Bushcraft Family, Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. And I have a video coming, but I figured I was going to talk about it a little bit more. So basically, the way it works is they're sending you 6 types of seeds, where they believe that those would be the seeds you would need to survive either an apocalypse, or I think it was more in terms of if you couldn't get seeds at the store, which ones would you need to focus on. And I figured it was going to be a good subject for today's live stream, I guess, while I drink my coffee, because I agree with everything that's in here. Hello, Tracy. And as much as I agree with what's in here, I think it all depends also on where you live in the world. For example, the first one that I have here is the Detroit Red Beets. Hello, Tammy. Red beets is a very good choice. You can eat the leaves. You can eat the root. If I'm not mistaken, it would be biannual, so that means you can leave them in the ground, and the second year you would have tons of seeds. You can let me just do this. If anyone wants to join, I put the link in our chat. Darren, thank you so much for being here. Bon matin. So yeah, beets is a good choice because you only have to keep like 3 beets in the ground, and it should provide you with tons of seeds on the second year, a little bit like carrots. They have Mariana tomatoes. I didn't know what kind of tomato it was, but I decided to just do a little research on them. That's not, well, it is an Italian tomato, the same as Roma tomatoes and San Marzano. You love the Roma tomatoes. I just never tried the Mariana. Not that I remember anyway. Maybe I had some in my garden in the past. I just don't know. The Walla Walla onions. I'm not sure what kind of onion this is, but I feel like I would go. I wouldn't really mind what kind of onion I would take. I know onions are pretty good with different, they have medicinal properties. And I guess that's one of the reasons I would grow it, but we don't really eat onions here. Well, at least not that much. Hello, Karen. Thank you so much for being here. And about the onions, I feel like I would probably go with chives or shallots or something more perennial than just biannual. But that's another one that would depend on what you have growing around you, because if you have wild leeks, wild onions, wild plants like this growing in your area, those are things that you might want to consider as well. If you can only take 6 type of seeds, you know what I mean? Like, if personally, I would tend to grow carrots over onions because we eat carrots. But if we have a bunch of wild carrots around, it would be kind of pointless to grow carrots, right? It would leave space for something else. And it's one thing to have a garden and take care of the garden, but if it grows in the wild, you don't have to take care of it. You just have to go and harvest it. Italian pepperoni pepper. Seen info is in our entry video, so I will have to go check the entry video. From what I understand, they're pretty prolific as well, but I think I would go personally with the cayenne pepper or big gem pepper. Those peppers that don't require as much time to grow, because I am in growing zone 4. Hello, Tiffany. Good morning. Another one they have is the light red kidney bean. I've never grown kidney beans, so this is a new one for me. Walla Walla takes a long time, not good for long storage. See, so that probably would not be the best scenario for me, knowing that I live in a short growing season. Now, kidney beans, I know they are very good in proteins, and they can help you, like they can feed you very well. It's just a matter of knowing how prolific they are. I've never grown kidney beans before. I just keep growing like the yellow pod beans and whatever they are. They did? Nice. I didn't plant it yet because I know I need to wait a little bit longer. Oh yeah, Scott, I have the video actually done, but it just, I'm drinking my coffee, figured I was going to talk about it. And good morning, by the way, Scott. And the last one is Waltham butternut squash. Now, you can't really go wrong. Sorry. You can't really go wrong with squash. We've had the conversation before with Chris from Hickory Croft Farm, and I kind of agree with what he said. You can buy a pack of seeds for like $2. You'll have 25 seeds, 20 seeds. You plant them, and out of those, let's say 20 seeds, especially if you buy from the right companies, the right brand, you should get at least 95% germination rate. Sorry. So if you have 95% germination rate and over, probably out of those 20 seeds, you'll get at least 19 that would germinate and grow into a plant. And I would maybe do something more like the spaghetti squash seeds or yellow prolific squash, just because they grow better here. But the Walton butternut squash is a very, very good option. You would get, if you're lucky, like a dozen squash per plant. At least I know I do, with the amount of squash I have here, and when I have frozen, when I have canned, and all that stuff. Hello, Lee. Hello, Bill. Bill from the Shire. I don't see him, Tammy. So you take those 12 squash, you keep the seeds, and you have seeds for the rest of your life by doing so, because you can eat the seeds from some of the squash. You only have to keep a few ones to provide for the long term. Wika shaya. So yeah, squash is a very, very good option in case of shit at the fan kind of situation. I would try to keep in mind, if something ever happens, try to keep in mind where I can go hide, or where I can go live, I guess, in terms of some place that you can protect yourself, protect your family, protect your goods, and somewhere you have a lot of wild edibles growing that you know very well. If you have a bunch of wild apple trees nearby, that's a very good plus. Everyone messes with me like their little brother. Sad times. I'm a man, a real man. Yes. If you have wild mushrooms that you know of in your area, that's a good plus to have around you. If you have, like I talked earlier about wild leeks, those are good ones to have as well. Anything that grows wild in the area is something good to have. I have a pack of asparagus here. The light is reflecting on them. You probably can't see, but they're the Mary Washington asparagus. That's another one that's pretty good to have because it's very nutritious, and it is a perennial. It will last you 30 years, you know. Depending on what kind of the green screen washout. But if I don't do it, this is really not appealing to the eye. Look at this. This is what I have. And behind it, I don't really have much. I just have a few boxes. So I'd rather have that here and put the spraying background like this. A lot better. A lot better. Yeah, right? What do you guys think? Do you think that they made a good choice for the 6 seeds? I'm just curious. I think what you had to do is simply send them an email saying you wanted to be in. They sent you freely those seeds. I know Scott helped as well. Asparagus here. We have some in the greenhouse, like the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I actually want to try to build a greenhouse. Well, I have an old tempo frame, and I feel like I should just frame it more solid and just put plastic on it. Who is they? It's Vineyard Chicks. They did a collaboration with Bushcraft Family and Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. We are picking up a temple frame tomorrow for a greenhouse. The thing is, I'm just not good at building stuff. Like I tried to install a door and I had to go buy a second door after because I screwed it up. But I think I called you Lee earlier. Yeah, Backlash Fisherman. Sorry, I took you for. I saw the name Fisherman and I had Lee in mind. Sorry. That's awesome. Have you done any fishing lately? You probably did. You can fish pretty much all year round. Lucky man. Bacon, eggs, croissant, and coffee to first. Awesome. Yeah, I've seen some people like do the frame. It's just a matter of knowing if you do the frame from the inside or the outside. I feel like if you do it from the outside, it can probably be a little bit more solid, but you have the wood exposed a little bit more. Um, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people do it, and I guess I'm gonna have to figure something out. I wish I had the money to buy those plastic transparent panels, designed especially for greenhouses, but that's not the case. So I have to figure out something else. We planted some lettuce in the greenhouse last week. Hopefully it pops up. Yeah, but your greenhouse is still pretty warm for this time of year, right? Like, I mean, not crazy warm, but like it's warmer than it is outside. Even at night, like, does it stay above freezing temperatures at night? I'm cleaning a house, so you'll have to help with that. You can go help him out, Bill. Haven't had. Okay. Don't call Bill, little Billy, help out. No worries, no worries. It would take more kidney beans to get a useful harvest, but learning to grow them is important. Yeah. I have a bag. I thought I had the bag of kidney beans behind me here, but it's actually rice. But I was going to say rice is another option. If you have wild rice growing around you, it's something else that you can keep. But having time to it's something that we really don't have, right? I think I've seen it, but like I said, I'm really not good at building stuff, so I don't know if I could do it properly. I guess I could get it done. We just need to do more research on exactly how to do it. There's probably like beginner's guide how to do it, right? If there is, maybe I can find a way to do it. But those are pretty cool. If they're what I have in mind, they're pretty cool. Like they take the trampoline, they take the frame and put it in front of each other like this. Is that the one you're talking about? So you take like the half trampolines to make an arch, the beginning and at the end, and they frame this up. But I have two greenhouses already. One I think is like 4x6, and I have another one that's 10x11, I think. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear. If there's anything I can do, you can feel free to send me an email and I can try my best to help you out. A half month until we can direct sow melons and squash. Already? We are 3 months away from planting outside. We have been growing, saving, and resowing our scarlet runners and Hidatsi beans. Scarlet runners, nice. The scarlet runners, you like them? I know that was one of the seeds you asked a while back, and I brought you some because you couldn't find any. I just Never grown them myself. I think I have some in my box here. I probably have. Okay. If there's any prayers, praying type in the chat. Pray for Matt. All right, Tracy, take care. So if I was forced, like literally dragged up there, kicking and screaming to Canada and forced to grow, I'd build an A-frame style greenhouse to deal with the snow. Not ideal. That makes sense. Yeah, that's something that we are keeping in mind as well. The A-frame is a pretty good idea. The only thing is, it's hard to reach the corners if you do something like this. If you have it too much like this, when you come to this corner here, it's hard to go and reach out the plants. You have to go a little bit more like this, so that this way you don't even see my arm in this corner here. You can actually go and grab the plants that you need. So you need to be a little bit more high like this instead of, you have to be careful the angles you take. Love eating them. Really meaty. Nice. Every other build too complicated and costly. I just unscrewed it in half and put over a frame. Use channel and wiggle. Nice. That's true, Darren. You just have to be sure to have a way to go and remove the snow, I guess. Depending on where you put it as well. From here, we have the big rift of snow coming from down. And if we put, you don't see what I mean, but on this side of the house, the wind is coming from this way and it's going up. So the house is offering a little protection for my small greenhouse I have on that side. I've had it there for 3 years, didn't touch it, and it's still intact. Now there's a lot of weeds inside. The weeds are growing in, so that's something that I have to fix. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it. I might have to put like this big black tarp cover that I have here just to put around. I also have to amend my soil because you put direct compost after 3 years, it feels like it's more like dust. So I have to amend my soil to be able to grow some stuff in there. And that's where I try to grow the stuff that's legal in Canada and not legal anywhere else. Bookstrap in plastic form from Facebook Marketplace. Nice. I have a trampoline frame here, and I'm pretty sure once I remove it, I will have this big huge spot of no grass growing. So I might be able to use that space for planting some more stuff. It would also need 2 layers of plastic so there is an air gap for super insulation. As long as it's tall, then you still get sun coming in, and the snow helps insulate in the colder days. Hope it gets better, Matt. I'm not really the praying type. I'll just put the camera off for a second. I'm not the praying type. And I mean, that's just me. I don't judge people that are. But for what it's worth, I'm going to try to send you some positive vibes. And I really hope that things get better for you. Thank you, Scott. Give me a thumbs up. It really helps. Good morning. I'm guessing it's probably Desmond again. Seemed to be the one behind the keyboard. So Sandy's in front of the camera and Desmond is behind the keyboard. Is that it? Due to the clay cement they call soil in my area of Tennessee, we're now forced to grow in grow bags. Wow, that sucks. But I'm really hoping to be able to make some garden beds this year. I feel like it'd be more, I don't know. Right now I have like this huge 36 by 16 garden. And I love it, but I feel like I'm losing space in terms of like I have to make the aisles bigger, and by doing so, like it's shrinking my growing space. And I know if I do garden beds, I will still lose some growing space, but I feel like I'll be able to focus more on every single bed than just have like everything just like free for all, right? I've seen some people do the garden bed, and I don't know, I kind of like it. I have a few ones behind them. I have like one bed of strawberries. I have another one of chamomile. I have another one back there of strawberries and chamomile together. I have one with comfrey. I feel like I should probably just remove the garden bed from there and just leave the comfrey plant there on its own, because it's overgrown now and it's taking a lot of space. So I could use the frame for another garden bed. I don't think the comfrey really needs to have that little protection around it. I also have some rhubarb in the garden bed, and I planted some mandarin balm last year and a few more plants beside it. But I mean, mandarin balm, or was it the lemon balm? I think it's mandarin balm. It's just like boom, and it's taking the whole garden bed now. So I might have to take those little garden beds, either remove the plant from there, which might be too late, because if the plant itself is already established, it might be hard to move around. And instead of having them concentrated in one space, it might just be spreading at every place I try to move it to. Sometimes I just wake up earlier than Cindy does. Okay, but it's the same thing when we do live streams in the evening. I hope the comfrey is comfy there. It is. It is. Seems 36-inch bed with 18 inches walking path are typical loaded with wood chips. 36-inch, yeah. Is that what I did? I don't think that's what I did. If I look at my plan here, I think I had it 4 feet, so that would be 48 inches by 8 feet. So it's 48 by 96. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. So yeah, my plan is 48 by 96. It might be too big, but I feel like I need at least 8 feet long to be able to properly establish one of the plant. So that way I might be like, I want to be able to reserve a garden bed for each and every one of the plants I want to grow, I guess. 1, 2, 3 times 4, 12. So the way that my garden is divided, I intend on having 2 feet of space between the aisles instead of 18 inches. I could maybe do 18 inches. I'll see exactly how it feels when I build it. But I made the plan for 24 inches. 18 inches. The only reason I want to do it 24 inches is because I want to be able to get through it with the lawnmower. Because that's the thing. I have so much weeds and I'm losing control, and I can't get there unless I intend on destroying all the plants I actually planted, the seeds I actually planted. So my goal is to build those little garden beds, and if one of them is overgrown by weeds, then it's easy to just sacrifice that one for a year, put a tarp on it, and let it go to rest for like a few weeks, a few months if I have to, even a year if I have to. And I can amend some of them yearly or monthly, but I don't have to worry about the whole thing. So I'm hoping that by doing this, I'll see my garden more as a like individual pieces instead of a whole thing. I don't know if that makes sense. I like marking garden size. Fits the typical tools. 30 inches path. Now that could be an issue if I do that. I need to rent a wood chipper or rob a cardboard trash container from a mega store. The cardboard is not a problem. Since I'm going back to my old job at the pharmacy, we have a lot of medication that arrives in boxes. So I just need to ask for a few boxes, and trust me, we get the ones they wear because of the chemo medication. We have those big plastic bins that kind of look like gas plastic tanks, and you can fit like 12 of them in a box. So the boxes are huge. They're like 4 feet wide by 2 feet deep by, I don't know, 4 feet up. So they're pretty big. Yeah, the cardboard is, but what would you suggest I do with the cardboard? Just to know, to be sure we're on the same, because I already have the row covers, like the plastic silage, plastic tarps, and it's been on my garden since early October. And I'm probably going to keep it there until I'm ready to plant. Well, no, it's going to be there until I'm actually building my garden beds. Yeah, cardboard is a weed suppression, but I don't think I'll need to put it on top. Like I don't think I'll need to put it on the bottom, because I'll be building my garden beds on top of my actual garden, which is already has some weed protector on it at the moment, so it should be killing some of the weeds. Yeah, free is a great price. I get a lot of free stuff. Sometimes they'll make mistakes with orders of like the plastic bags that we get. And my example, if we need the big ones where they need to be like a specific thickness because of chemo products or things like that, and I make an error and don't order the right one, and sometimes they'll be like, okay, well, you want it, just take them. We can't use them and we can't return them. So I end up coming home, with a bunch of, sometimes I have plastics like this, sometimes I have those big 12 by 12 inches bags that I love using when I go harvest, when I do my harvest. Like if I harvest beans, radishes, carrots, anything like that, if I just go for like one little trip, I can just put that in the bag and come back home. It's a great way for me to pick it up and have something to hold them in. Sometimes they have those boxes that have the handles, and they're already divided in 3, so I can just go in there, put the onions in one, the carrots in the other one. So I love those boxes too. I had to go larger with my spacing so I can cultivate and plant with my tractor. Yeah, tractor would be another issue if I had one of those. Weed suppression in a walking path. So you would put that in a walking path. But I tried that. The weeds still eventually go growing through. Um, that's a good idea though. Like I could put weed barrier on the ground, but I would love to have something with um, small rocks. Like a pathway. If there's no weed growing and you have like tiny rocks, it kind of looks cool. But I have a small electric weed eater, so if something comes up and at least I can go through the aisles and cut it up, I don't mind. That's not the worst part. Lay the cardboard down 3-4 layer thick to keep the weeds away. Yeah, I guess I have one of those tool. I don't remember how it's called. It has like some sort of a triangle at the end with is that a faux or hoe or but the goal is to go like under the roots. When you brush the ground with it, it's actually going like a few centimeters deep, and it's actually cutting up the roots, so it's removing the weeds. I have one of those that I intend on using a lot for the first few weeks before I actually transplant my stuff outside. But when I look at my plan here, I should have at least 12 garden beds, and it might be a good idea for me to do that with the like, I don't know if it's the third or fourth garden I have where my barn was, because where my barn was, the weeds under the barn all died, so it gave me some more growing space. But the weeds beside it, because there's like a small hill on one side and a small hill on the other side, so I built the garden like here, and it goes like this. But it's hard to mow the grass here, and it's hard on that side as well. So it's growing on both sides of my garden, and the weeds just kind of taking over. But cardboard would be a good way to get rid of those weeds on the sides, at least to give me some space to see what's going on. Now the cardboard has been mentioned, I will put cardboard down 2-3 layers thick before I build my greenhouse. Yeah, and it also gives you like the soil underneath will become better. It will create some compost, natural compost underneath, because it will kill everything, and it will decompose the cardboard as well over time. It might take a year to be completely gone, but it will happen, and that will also help the soil get better. If weeds are a super nuisance on LP torch, will do the trick. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, doing it by hand is a lot of work. Torching is something I don't have access to. Well, maybe I could, but it's not really something that did my dad have one of those? Maybe my dad does have one of those. Well, I could just take those little tiny torch. Those are really not expensive. But then again, I don't think I would need to do that. Hello, Thomas. Thank you so much for stopping by. Talking about planning for spring. Walk and fry the new growth, and it's gone for the year. Yeah. We'll see. I think one of the problem I had was the compost we were using was actually full of seeds. But it was growing lamb's quarters, which is edible also, and I heard it was actually pretty good. So this is something we need to start using. And I don't know, there's a bunch of what's it called? Is it thistle? Like, the green leaves that has spikes on it all over them. those are growing all over in my garden, and they grow up and end up like forming those yellow flowers, kind of like dandelion, and they spread the seeds like crazy. So I need to kill that. And the thing is, with those weeds, the stem is kind of strong. So if you put a tarp on top of it, it kind of goes through and it's like tears a hole in the tarp. We now use nursery fabric now for path. Only sure way to stop weeds. We like the cardboard, but if you have something like wood chips, etc., on top, you start getting weeds. Yeah, because it will eventually get the seeds from somewhere else. The wind will throw seeds on there, and it will start decomposing enough that the seeds will grow. So you either make it look pretty or grow food. Yeah, I don't want to have it look pretty necessarily, but I don't want to have it too ugly either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Looks like it's going to be a really cold, dry start to the growing season with cold and frost in mid to late May. I was reading an article yesterday. Oh no. Well, I usually can't plant until early June anyway. But whatever you have in greenhouse should be good to go. Not necessarily around the garden, but you need a spray license. Par 3 will kill everything. Used to spray the fence lines that don't have to worry about anything growing. Yes, but the worms are good for your garden. We've torched and it took forever. Doing it now while the weeds are dried might work better. Yeah, in the spring, a lot of people will do that, but you have to control it, and it's really dangerous to spread the wildfires. So just be careful when you do it. They're nasty. Squash like button. Yes. Hit the thumbs up. So now I'm going to have to spend, well, it's not going to take the whole day, but just I'm going to have to take the day to try to keep in mind what I want to plant in my garden beds. I know I want to have tomatoes. I know I want to have onions. I know I want to have peppers, but peppers and tomatoes can go in my greenhouse. I want to have one full of carrots. Come on, you. But then again, with the community garden, I don't think I need to plant carrots here. So that's giving me free space for something else. Whatever requires the more work, I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword because I keep thinking that the community garden, I want to plant the stuff that requires less maintenance. So if I plant squash, the plant will grow big on its own. It doesn't need much attention. You can go like once every second week, and eventually you'll just have like to get rid of those squash bugs. But at the same time, I feel like if I planted squash here, I would probably let it go more here. I hope this coffee is stronger than my urge to start more seeds. We're running out of space. Where I was going to go with this is if I plant some stuff at the community garden that requires more time, if I go there and I'm already there, I tend to do more work than if it's home, because when it's home, I'm a little bit more lazy, and it's like, okay, I'm home. I don't want to do that now. I'll do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and I do something else. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it this weekend. And you end up not doing it. You're home. You're distracted by everything. If you go there, if I take time to go 10 minutes away to the community garden, once I get there, I have nothing else to do than do the work that needs to be done. That's why I say it's a double-edged sword. You have to keep in mind what you want to do. What kind of person are you? If it's something that requires a lot of water, maybe it's better to plant home. If it's something that requires water from the start, like carrots, it's something that I prefer growing there. Because carrots, if it rains every now and then, and it gets just a little bit dry at some points, once the carrot is established, of course, the carrot will try to tap deeper in the ground to try to go tap some of that water that could be down below. So it actually helps the carrot grow more. Guilty of procrastination. Yeah, that's something I tend to do a lot too. For equipment, we make plastic bladders under everything to get any leaks, and that plastic doesn't rot and nothing pops up and under to get burned about 6 inches in sand, and it does leak. You can clean up. Yeah, but I don't want to have to use chemicals or anything like that. I'm pretty sure once I build my garden beds, if I move the soil a little bit and I put compost on top, I'm pretty sure it will stop a bunch of weeds from growing, at least for a while. Like, I have my strawberry bed, which is kind of an issue now because it has a lot of weeds. And that's something that's kind of hard to go and remove all the weeds, because I don't want to kill everything in there. I don't want to kill my strawberries. Yeah, I love low maintenance plants too, and that's why I love perennials so much. Like rhubarb, you plant it there, it's gonna grow, and if the leaves get so much big, it'll make some. Well, it will literally kill everything that's around it, because it won't have water, it won't have the sun. You know, it will make those weeds around it fade and die. And I ended up having a bunch of rhubarb last year. I picked some up at the conference. Jane gave me some, and I was able to plant like 12 of them. And I also had my father-in-law that had some behind his father's house, and his father passed away. He ended up with the house, and he told me I could go get whatever I wanted. So I went there and picked a bunch of rhubarb, and I have some wine coming. Maybe next weekend, or if not, the one after that. That's February. Let's see what the calendar looks like. Next Saturday would be on the 16th, on the 9th. On the 9th or the 16th. It cannot be on the 23rd because I already have something else. So let me ask a question to Trevor. Trevor. Do the last piece on the 9th to 16th. So I took all the rhubarb I had, well, what I had left. I took most of the blueberries we had, the chokecherries we had. I think I had like one bag of strawberries, and we are making our own homemade wine. We had about 10 pounds of rhubarb, about 10 pounds of blueberries, maybe like 2 pounds of chokecherries, and maybe like 2 pounds of strawberries. So we had maybe like 25 pounds of fruits, and it should provide us with about 16, 17 bottles of wine. We're splitting half and half because my colleague provided all the equipment and the stuff and the knowledge, and I provided the fruits. So we go half and half, so it should give me 8, maybe 9 bottles. But I wanted to learn. It's something that I've been waiting on for a long time. Now I can take the rhubarb and strawberries and make some homemade wine. It's a long process, but it's mostly waiting game. It takes about 4 hours, the first part, to do like the boiling, putting all the fruits, the yeast, put everything in the proper bag and whatever needs to be done. Then you just put it to rest for a month. You don't touch it, you don't move it, you don't use it. Then it takes another hour to just take from that one bottle, remove the fruits that are done fermenting, and transfer it to like a second bottle just so that you don't get the yeast. And then there's still a little bit of yeast that's going to stay in there. You just wait another month before you put it in the bottle. So it's like it takes like 2 months, but it's only actually like 5 hours worth of work. Maybe 6, because it might take a long time to put everything in a bottle and seal it up. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If I love it, maybe I'll try to keep 2 bottles for the conference so I can share with my friends down there. Perfect perennial garden is mint. I have some mint growing. Most of my property, where when you come in my driveway is like, I don't know, maybe soccer net is 24 feet, so I'm guessing maybe like 75, maybe 80 feet long. And it's a little tiny hill on the side, which is hard to mow the lawn. Like, it's hard to mow the lawn there. So I planted a bunch of different kind of mint. And if it spreads, it's going to spread on the side of the house or in the ditch. And I don't mind. What's the worst that can happen? I'll just mow the lawn on top, and it's just going to smell good. I know it spreads a lot, but I don't really mind. One thing you could probably use is pine straw. Only thing is, it's a little acidic, but not so much up here. But down in the States, instead of mulch, they use pine straw. It's just red pine needles. Yeah. I might have to use this for my blueberries, because my blueberries require a lot of acidity. And yeah. I don't think it's something that I will use around my other plants. Peter was cleaning out the silo. There was a bunch of mash out around the yard. Cows ate it and got hammered. It was an interesting day. Mowing mint, right? Like, it has to feel good. Oh, the last sip, where all the sugar is. The best part of the coffee. So if I look at my calendar here, I should be planting my onions soon. I have some tomatoes. It says I should start, but I don't know. Rosemary should be started in about 2 weeks. Asparagus, but my asparagus, I think I'm going to start sooner. That's something I might actually do today. Green onions, hot mixed pepper, sweet Cubanelle pepper. A lot of peppers should be started now. Victoria rhubarb, English lavender. Those are going to be the first one that I plant. The eggplant, rosemary, onions, rhubarb, goji berry fruiting shrub. That might be something that I start earlier, because I want it to be bigger by the time it goes outside, because I keep struggling with them. I don't know why. I thought it was supposed to be a perennial, but they keep dying on me, so I don't know what's wrong. Peppers, goji berry, fruiting shrubs. Yeah, the last sip. Yeah, good luck with rosemary. One of the nightmares to grow from. Why? Because it's hard? Or because it spreads? curious to see because I was able to grow some last year, but I grew them in planting pots. Yeah, I'm leaving soon as well. I just wanted to pop in because I need some watch hours. So today's gonna give me an extra like 10 hours, which is a good thing, I guess. Take care, Desmond, and say hi to Sandy for us. At least I'm starting stuff in Grandma's sunroom today. Basically, a finished greenhouse on the house has its own propane furnace. Nice. That's something I would love to have. Some place where I could actually have some actual heat and grow food all year round. That would be awesome. Rosemary is a tough plant to start. Yeah, I never struggle with the start. It's usually to keep it alive. Same with fire. I can make fire out of pretty much anything, but it's a struggle to just keep the fire going. I have a video coming up. I had to cut often because the fire kept going down. It was doing great. You would put wood, it would burn, and then, okay, let's put some more birch bark, and it would go up again. It was a struggle to try to cook the meat, but that's video coming soon. I've killed so many blueberries, but I bought another yesterday. Never heard of drappers. Drappers. First time I hear that word. The blueberries require very acidic soil, so they're somewhat easy to grow. If your soil is already acidic, it'll do great on its own. But the thing is, most people don't have acidic soil, and it's really hard to keep it acidic. I would say getting 5.5 to 6 for berries. Yeah, it's really hard because you have to amend the soil like on a regular basis. Like at least once every 2 to 3 weeks, you would need to put something to make the soil acidic. Yeah. If you struggle with blueberries, you can maybe try some of those ascaps or honeyberries if you prefer. Some people call them Camrys. They're not exactly the same, but they're designed to grow in like in cold climate and better, more regular soil, I should say. I tried to plant my blueberries next to my spruce trees, thinking that maybe it would make the soil acidic. I don't know. I'll see this year what happens with them. I have a bunch of different fruit trees on my property that I just can't wait to see if they survived, how they're doing. Some black, red, and white currants, some cherry trees, pear trees, apple trees. I know my goji berry trees are dead. They were dead by the end of the summer, which I don't understand. I also have a bunch of honeyberries, some hazelnuts, American hazelnuts. Well, I had 2 American hazelnuts. One of them died, so I just need to find another one because I want to have at least 2. I also have, what else do I have? Cranberries, gooseberries. I have a bunch of gooseberries as well. I also have, I want to try to grow some rose bushes on the end of my property. I heard they spread fast, but then again, when you see them in the woods, they don't seem to be spreading that fast. So I don't know. Oh, one thing just popped up in my head for your path. If you come to the conference, I can give you some black walnut sawdust. Well, yeah, but then again, I don't want to kill anything around it either. But maybe that's something I could put in my big greenhouse where I have raised beds in the greenhouse. It goes around the greenhouse, and I have a, like 18 inches walking path in the middle. I could also just put cardboard, but I hate walking on cardboard because you make one step and it moves, and then you have to hold it back, and it's just an issue. Hello, Marilyn. Just doing my first sip of coffee right now. Yeah, you're an hour behind me. That's okay. I just finished my last sip, and as you can see, I started an hour ago. I've never amended with sulfur, so I have zero knowledge on fast activating or slow release granules. Gelone is a natural pesticide. Awesome. Well, it's good to know. Trying to think what else. I have some. I have another red fruit that grows. I know in French it's called Ariel Suzy or Susi. I don't know what's the name in English though. Marilyn, you talked about it to me the other day, and I told you I already had some. I I have some high bush cranberries, some low bush regular cranberries. Um, I want to have like my own little orchard here. I the way that my property goes, like everything is on 2/3 of my property because the last third goes down. I have this small little. It goes down like this, and I have this small like 8 feet plateau, and then it goes down again. Um, so on that little plateau in the middle, I want to go and plant a bunch of fruit trees there. The only problem is it is really windy. It's an open field from the neighbor's place to my place. Um, yeah, let me try to find it. Yeah, that's just it might be the same name in English. I don't know. Petit fruit. Let me show you the screen. Share screen, entire screen. This one there. Boom. So I don't know if you can see it. Why is it? Do you guys see it, or is it just a black spot? What the? What's wrong? My StreamYard is acting up. Let me see. Oh, there. So it's in French, so don't try to understand if you. What's wrong with the StreamYard? What's up with this? Is it actually like on the website, or what? Like, you don't want me to share that stuff? What's wrong? Come on. Let me see if I can do that again. Let me hide the comment. So this is what it looks like. It looks like some sort of cherries. Anyway, it's a small little red berry. I have no idea what it tastes like. I have no idea how big it gets. I think that stuff is on an extract from walnut. Yeah. So that's what it is. I don't know what it's called in English. If anyone knows, let me know. Let me remove this. Stop screen. The glow phenolic compound found in walnuts. Yeah. It's also found in the bark and sawdust as you mill the tree. Some has mahogany and butternut. It's really bad for you to breathe. Pop-up ad destroying the page share. No, it's not a pop-up block because since I'm on YouTube, I remove my pop-up blocker. so it wasn't that. But I mean, oh my knee. Lingonberry, okay, makes sense. Uh, Let me see. Yeah, you're right. Lingonberry. I didn't even know there was a thing. Well, I heard about lingonberry. I didn't know. Lingonberry. Awesome. That's kind of cool. Huh. It almost looks like wintergreen. But anyway, that's pretty awesome. You confirm? All right. Yeah, so I have like 3 of them growing that I planted. I don't want to say next to my tree line, but like I have my spruce and my blueberries in front, and like 3 feet ahead of that, I have the 3 lingonberries, and another 3 feet away, I have my garden beds with all the perennials that are taking over. So I might have to change them. Okay. Yeah. Have a tart, acidic, and slightly sweet flavor. Some people think they taste similar to cranberries. Okay, so they could be like in the cranberry family somewhat. I just don't know. That part of the property for some reason doesn't drain as much. And also the fact that all the water coming from up the hill goes down there. So they might drown in the spring. We'll have to see. I hope that it doesn't happen. If I can see they're struggling, if I see them struggling, I might have to change them. But the thing is, they're only like tiny little plants right now. They're only like this tall. So if I put them somewhere else, I have to put them somewhere where I won't mow the lawn on top of them, and where I won't struggle to see them, and where they will actually be able to grow and see them sunlight, and don't get overrun by other weeds. Yeah, they kind of look like little cranberries. We replaced cranberry with lingonberry. They are better after a few good frosts, though. Okay, good to know. We have to plant fruits here. This year will be the year we start planting here in 2022. It's time to get them in. The asparagus and rhubarb didn't survive. I have to start again. Rhubarb, it's weird. People say you can't kill rhubarb. For some reason, I had one that I transplanted, and I mean, I took it where my greenhouse was going to be and transplanted it about 6 feet further, and it died. It became like all mushy, like it rotted from the inside. So I don't know what happened. Asparagus, I don't know. It's my first time planting some last year. I'll have to see how many survived. Would they grow faster than the weeds in the garden? Asking for a friend. Lingonberry are small. Tart red berries popular in Scandinavia for use in jams and syrups. Their closest culinary match is cranberry. Grouse also love them. Okay. Cool. Good to know. Make the best jam. I bought a jar at big box store. Awesome. That's very, very cool to know. Planting a bunch of fruit trees is something I want to do this year as well. So, yeah, if I put them on a little plateau down the hill, I'm afraid that the wind might kill them in the first winter. I'm also afraid because the neighbor's kid has that little tiny small ATV and he keeps coming up the hill, which I don't mind. I mean, I didn't mind because I don't use that part of the property. and he's a kid. Like, I'm not gonna go and make some trouble. I just hope that once I plant my trees, he's careful and doesn't do it again. In the winter, they're also using the skidoo, and they come up the hill as well. So it's another reason why I'm just like, do I do it? Do I don't do it? I'm just afraid that they might kill my trees. You know what I mean? Just give me a second here. It's Sunday morning. Just give me one tiny second. I can still keep talking, but I just don't want you seeing me clean up my nose. More from the web. Lingonberries are a creepy shrub with tart, tangy red berries closely related to high bush blueberries and cranberries. Awesome. The bottom garden is full of asparagus, about half an acre, and then there will stuff all over too. Awesome. Time to fix breakfast here. I'm happy to spend time with you all. Thank you so much, Karen. I was actually hoping to last at least an hour, a half hour, and I've been here for an hour and 15 minutes, so it's all good. Blueberry, cranberry, lingonberry are all Vaccinium family. The real lingonberry is a carpet. Yeah. The fruits are more under the leaves. You have to search a bit for them. I have ton here. No need to be in a wet place. No, I didn't put them in a wet place on purpose. It was just the only place I had left on my property that was not growing much. Like the grass doesn't get too tall. And that's the only reason it's there. I'm just hoping that it doesn't die because it's too wet in the spring. I might have to transfer them. I can probably, that's the kind of thing that what I should have done is simply put some soil, make a little hill, put them on top of the hill. That way, the water or the excessive water would not necessarily touch the plant as much. That's something that we don't really think about when we do those things that we should think about. Lingonberries spread via underground rhizomes, separating a runner from the parent plant is an easy, quick way to make new plants. Good to keep in mind, kind of the same as raspberries. My raspberries are huge, and it all started with one plant I purchased. It was ever-bearing raspberries, I think, that I purchased at Walmart at the end of June, maybe. Like, it was on sale. I think it was like $7.95, and I got it for like $5. So I figured, what do I have to lose? I planted it next to my house. At the end of the summer, it was a stick. So I figured it's dead, right? Like, the plant is dead. I'm going to leave it there anyway. Who knows what happens? Like, it's no point for me to just remove it and throw it in the fire. I'm just going to leave it there. Winter's going to decompose it, and whatever happens, happens. Maybe the root system will survive. Well, the root system did survive. The next spring, I ended up having like 2 plants coming out. And every year, it's just spreading and spreading and spreading. And it's growing next to my apple trees, which is fine. I might just have to go and make a path near my apple tree just to be sure that we can actually go and harvest them, the apples, without having to worry about the bee nest and the raspberries. The problem is I have a bunch of alders growing next to them as well, and those spread like crazy. So I have to go and cut them. I use my cutters, the ones I have. I made a little review video on them. Those cutters here. I think those were like $12 at Giant Tiger. I bought those. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try. Who knows? I got nothing to lose for $12, even if it's just to able to cut a few branches, a few small branches. And it turns out that it can cut branches like twice the size of a toonie, which is pretty cool. If you look at my video, I was able to cut pretty decent size branches. So I basically was able to go and cut most of the alder trees. I have my small electric chainsaw as well. The one that you don't see it here, but this one here. So, yeah, the only thing that I don't know now is once I cut them up, how do I get rid of the root system? Because those alder trees will probably keep coming back, even if I cut the tree down to the soil. One thing I've learned that you could do, but I just don't know if it's going to work with those ones, is you cut as close to the soil as possible, and then you take your drill in the middle of the roots, and you drill through the tree stump that's left there. That would make the water go in the rooting system, and it could make the roots rot from the inside. I just don't know if it would work with that kind of tree. So that's what, yeah, creepy shrub. I have a patch I grow with cut under the line of spruce and fir. Pretty shady place. I have another patch full sun and on sand growing with gooseberries and blueberries. Go figure. Yeah, they grow everywhere, I guess. Also have some on the beach with the herbs there and blueberries. Awesome. So does your property go up until the beach? From what I understand, I don't know if it's different on the Quebec side than what it is here in New Brunswick. But I think that wherever the water goes, it doesn't belong to anyone. Like there was a guy that didn't want us to go fish on his side because he owned like a little camping ground there. He didn't want us to go, and we respected it because we didn't want to fight. We just went the other way, and the other way we asked the new owners that bought the place a few years later, and they said they didn't mind us going there to fish. But yeah, same here, I guess. It goes like if you see the sand from the beach where the water goes, that's where the property legally ends. Alders are nitrogen fixer in their way, for your information. Yes, but they're also invading. They're also very invasive. I have other nitrogen fixer that I can use other than that. The entire forest and hollows around me are in full chorus with spring peepers. This means today is going to be a warm day and spring is 100% here in 7A Tennessee. Awesome. I can hear them, but I've never seen them. They could be scared of people, and as soon as you try to approach them, they just go away. I feel like spring is just around the corner here as well. That's why I put this background, because I love spring. So yeah, my summer's gonna be my spring's gonna be about building my garden beds. My summer's gonna be about planting and propagating, hopefully apple trees, and I want to go in like where I have my wild apple trees. Not my apple trees, but I mean where I know where the apples I go harvest in the wild. I want to go and take some of those trees and use those little balls that I showed you a couple of weeks ago, where you put soil and you put that around the branch, and it's supposed to root. I've heard opposite point of views on those. Some people say that it just really doesn't work at all, and some people say that it's so easy that it really, really works well. So I'll see. I'll try it a few times. I'll try it on my apple tree here, um, and I'll use the branches that I want to cut anyway. So that way, if it just end up killing the branch, well, I'll be able to just cut it up. You know what I mean? I also want to do it with some of my currant bushes that I have here, like the white currants. I might be able to find some. Um, I'm hoping that the one Maryland gave me last year survived. I'm also hoping that the raspberries that I planted survived. But Annie from Back to Basics Homestead gave me a bunch of raspberry cuttings, but I don't think they've never done anything. I think I would need to have the roots for them to actually do something. If the root system is good, it should survive. Even though I was able to kill a lot of raspberries in my year. If it's something that's not supposed to die easily in terms of plant, you can be sure that I killed it at least once in my life. I have to prune my fruit trees this year, and it's about the time to do it. Another chore. Yeah, spring is the best time before they come out of dormancy. So for me, it's about right now as well. I, from what I understand, you have to cut the ones that go up like this, right? The branches, like on my apple tree. The ones that grow like sideways are the ones you want to keep because they can all get the sun. But each and every one that grows like from under, like if you have a branch like this and another one that grows like under like this, that's the one you want to cut here. Boom. And if you have one that goes up like this, you want to cut that one too. Try to keep the branches going sideways as much as possible. Is what I understand. I might be wrong. If I am, Marilyn will let me know in a few minutes. uh, I would love to have so many fruits on my property that every second week you'd have a bunch of different fruits to harvest. You have to cut those that cross and goes in. You mean like if I have two branches like this, if I have one going like this, that's the one here you would cut. Yeah, because early July you have the strawberries, and after that you have the raspberries, and after that you have the blueberries. You have the currants, the gooseberries, and all that coming at specific time as well. I just wish I could go out and have some fruit to harvest and eat all year round. Apples are usually later, early fall. Pears, probably the same thing. The ASCAP, from what I understand, they're supposed to be a little bit easier. You choose. Yeah, like from what I understand, they're supposed to grow before strawberries. Alder is easy to pull out, tie a loop around the clump, and pull out with a vehicle. The only problem is it's the location. Where it's located, I have no way to get there with a vehicle. Unless I had like an ATV, maybe I could squeeze my way around. I don't have one. I could always ask my dad or my brother to come for a drive here and try it out with an ATV. Not sure if it'd be strong enough, but I have gardens all around it, garden beds all over the place, and apple trees and all that kind of stuff. So to get there, I would need to step either on my neighbor's property, and that's not a good idea because I mean my son cut the lawn half an inch too small for her last year when he just passed on her side a little bit, and she complained. So I'm not going to go on her property with a vehicle or an ATV or anything like that, as you can imagine. There might be a way. Nah, even that side, I have some fruit trees. I have some cherry trees. And I don't think that there's any way I can actually do it unless I use like an ATV. Uh, yeah. And good morning, by the way, Jotham. Well, I've been on for an hour and a half. It's time for me to go to work, go get some chores done. Might have to. What's wrong with this? I don't know why Edge keeps giving me issues with the chat. Like on my main computer here, if I click refresh, I might not see the chat. And I have it playing on my laptop here, and it's the same thing. I don't see the chat. I don't know why. It's like something is always loading. What's wrong? Why is it? Yeah. Your device ran into a problem. You need to restart the computer. I'm glad I saved everything before I pressed the little button because it crashed. And I know why it's crashing. I just need to reinstall Windows. It's dirty. The keyboard is dirty. Let's see. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Time to do some more chores. I have 2 videos I need to edit, if not 3. And I'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to come and have a little coffee. My coffee's gone. Time to go and have a little breakfast. I might be eating beans. When I do, I fart and stink later on. And my kids don't like it. But I love beans. So, where do I draw the line, right? All right. Take care, everyone. See you later. Have a nice week.